Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this awesome 2021 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus that we have for sale. This is one awesome battery electric vehicle. In fact, it's my opinion, and it's obviously just my opinion, but I think it's also a lot of other opinions that the Model 3 is one of the best battery electric vehicles on the planet. I have a lot of reasons behind that. First of all, Tesla is one of the first to mass produce battery electric vehicles, so I think they're pretty far ahead as far as battery technology and also EV technology. The user interface, over-the-air updates, I haven't seen anyone quite to the level of Tesla as far as all these features go. And we see lots of vehicles here at Infiniti of Tacoma, and we're pretty big fans of Tesla. We have about 11 Teslas in stock. So if you're interested in a Tesla, it's not easy to go and test drive and look at Teslas. Even Tesla dealerships, they have a long wait for brand new ones, and used inventory can sometimes be spotty at Tesla dealerships. So if you're interested in Teslas, we always have a great selection. Right at the time of making this video, I think I have 6 Model 3s, mid-range, standard range pluses, long-range all-wheel drives, and we have 3 Model Ys as well as a Model S P90D. So if you're interested in Teslas, we always have a great selection. So talking about this one, this is a one-owner clean Carfax vehicle, very low miles, only 3,581 miles. This thing is pretty much in near new condition, hardly a mark on it. So the Standard Range Plus is kind of like the entry-level Model 3, and entry-level is relative because this thing is packed with features and technology. So the Standard Range Plus is rear-wheel drive. It has a range of about 250 miles. The range varies by years. Obviously, the newer ones tend to have longer ranges than the earlier ones. So this has a fully charged range of about 250 miles. And range can vary depending on the type of driving. Electric vehicles actually are more efficient in around the town and stop-and-go traffic versus on the highway. So you're more likely to get the maximum range in around town driving versus on the highway. If you're driving at 80 miles an hour, you're not going to get quite the amount of range. So we do have to make some lifestyle changes as far as EVs go. But the one thing that Tesla has, if you are on a road trip, for most people 225, 250 miles is adequate range for everyday driving. But if you're on a road trip, the one ace in the hole that Tesla has is an amazing supercharger network. And you can find it with a navigation system. So you have level 1 charging. That's like destination charging, so like a hotel might have level 1 charging. Then level 2 charging is kind of somewhat fast charging. It'll add about 20 to 30 miles of range per hour of charging. Then we have the level 3, which is the supercharging. And supercharging is where it's at. In fact, I was just supercharging this one a couple days ago. So I was just supercharging this one a couple days ago. When I got there, it had about 20 miles of range, and I charged it up to about 230 miles of range. It took about 45 minutes. So that's really quick. And the thing is like if you're on a road trip, you don't need to, wait the whole time. If you're in a rush, you can maybe charge for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and add 80 miles of range. Or 50 to 80 miles of range, so you can complete your your trip and charge at your destination. Tesla has 30,000 superchargers throughout the world. The majority of them are in the U.S. Even around here, there's one in Federal Way, 5.2 miles away. There's another supercharger in Auburn, Lacey, a bunch in Seattle. So you're covered as far as charging goes. And the nice thing about supercharging is you just back in and plug it in, and it's automatically billed to your Tesla account. You don't have to mess with any buttons, credit card machines. You don't have to try 3 times to get it charging like that's the case with some other vehicles. And it actually has proven to road trip and EVs that are non-Teslas just because of the charging infrastructure. Don't take my word for it, do some research. A lot of the other car companies, they're relying on third-party chargers to fill the gap, which is not going to cut the cake, I'll tell you that much. Tesla's supercharging network is second to none. And if you do plan on traveling in an EV, not just around the town and charging at home, but you plan on, charging on the road, I don't think there's any other choice besides Tesla. My dad's in the car business in the East Coast, and not to name names, but they had a customer that bought an EV from another company, and she needed to do a pretty somewhat common, regular commute from Boston to New York City and back, and she couldn't it wouldn't work. The EV that she had, she couldn't find sufficient charging to do that trip. So she traded that in for a Tesla Model Y, and of course, no issue supercharging. My dad, he's driving a Model Y right now, and he just did a road trip from Boston to Philadelphia to visit his daughter, my sister, and he says it was great. He said, you know, it tells you, it plans a trip for you. It tells you how much range you're going to have when you get to the supercharger. It tells you, hey, stay below 70 miles an hour so you have enough range to reach the supercharger. The car has your back. It figures it out. And he says it took a lot of uncertainty. He didn't have any range anxiety. And on top of that, he had the autopilot, which this one has as well. The autopilot is just awesome on the highway. It will brake and accelerate and steer within its lane. And that's not extra. It's not the full self-driving. Autopilot comes standard. And I think a lot of people who are asking about full self-driving, I think they'd be more than happy with the autopilot, which is pretty awesome. So everything is handled in this user interface. So that's the amazing thing about this car. The reason why they're able to constantly do updates and make so many changes is because the functionality, the majority of the functionality is in the screen, which is infinitely configurable. A lot of other cars, you have buttons and stuff for the climate control system. Those aren't fixed. So this is a car that's constantly improving. It's constantly getting better as it gets older. Or other car vehicles, they get older, they get more obsolete. Well, it's not the case with this one. The climate control system's pretty amazing. Very intuitive. You can use these buttons and stuff to control the airflow or the vents. You have camp mode. Camp mode is if you want to camp in the vehicle, so it allows you to keep the car warm. It allows you to watch, you know, the screen, watch Netflix and stuff like that. Then there's dog mode, which puts a thing on the screen when you're left that the cabin's at 72 degrees. The owner will return soon. We have premium connectivity, which is $10 a month, which gives you basically internet for the vehicle. It's like a cell phone transponder, so you get Google Maps. You have you can stream music, and then we have other things. You can watch movies. You have Hulu, TikTok, Netflix. They're constantly adding games and over-the-air updates. We have the toy box, which has some cool new features. You have the megaphone update, which basically you can use the vehicle as a megaphone. You can change your sound, the sound of a horn, to a goat. Oh. A little bit hard to hear. So I mean, that's just the ridiculousness of it. And look at all these you know, cool little things. You can do a light show, a multi-track recorder. It just goes on and on. A great backup camera. Whew. I can just go on and on about all the cool features. And another cool feature too, this is a recent over-the-air update. They added a blind spot camera. So when you put the signals on now, it shows you the right or left side of the vehicle depending on, you know, and it's amazing. No other car manufacturer can keep up with the rate of change. You know, another car manufacturer, they can't add a blind spot camera. They'd have to make, you know, hardware modifications and software modifications to a vehicle. If a car company and another vehicles want to add a blind spot camera, it'd probably cost them millions of dollars of research and development. Then they'd have to, okay, we'll implement this in the next model year of the vehicle. And with Tesla, the way they design these vehicles, basically it's like a computer on wheels. It's just like your phone. You know, your iPhone or Android is constantly getting features and getting better and improvements. Some nice improvements for 21. We have a power operated trunk. All the chrome accents on the outside are gone. Now they have a black accent, which is nice. They've also made some upgrades to the interior. We have a little bit nicer wood trim on the door. We have this new redesigned center console. We have a wireless charger for your phone. And then there's the other thing to talk about too. Man, I tend to go long on these videos, but I just can't stop talking about all these features. It's just so amazing. The mobile app is second to none. So you can pull up cameras of your Tesla. You can set the climate control. You know, you can you do your service. You do everything. You can do all sorts of stuff through your mobile app. And there's another aspect. There's no other vehicle that I've experienced that has the amount of user functionality through a mobile app for your phone. You can use your phone as a key for the vehicle. And look at this, we don't have an engine here, so we have more storage. This is also a safety feature because you have all this space to absorb crash energy. So this is actually the safest vehicle on the road according to the NHTSA by every metric. Lowest rollover risk, lowest probability of injury, and then you have the autopilot, which makes it safer as well. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully we see you soon, and have a wonderful day.